Hello artists. We're going to learn how to make different darknesses of solid value. That is going to be one of the requirements in your mini project. This paper is bigger than the paper that you're going to use. I'm going to allow you to use a half a sheet of your 9 by 12 paper, and this is even bigger than 9 by 12. So let me see what we're seeing here. All right, so I'm just picking around 2 random colors. You can pick the colors you like. Anything out of your 10-pack of Crayolas. And like I said, in the why not to use printer paper or the newsprint paper for anything with with water, any technique that uses water. I don't have my Crayola markers here at home, so we're just gonna use what I've got. And all water-based markers are pretty much the same. Some may have stronger pigments in them than others, but that's okay. So I'm going to make 4 values, four, with my marker and using water, and make it as even as you can. And the color is going to spread a little bit just because the water makes it run a little bit. I do not have a puddle on my paper. I can pick it up and the color does not go anywhere. So that is a good thing. You don't want puddles on your paper. So there's one value. Dip and brush off the excess once. That way you kind of always know you're getting the same amount of water in your color. I'm going to leave a space in between those 2 colors, or the 2 colors that I'm making values, because they will run together if you are not very, very careful. And where I drew that line with my brush, that has kind of a dark edge to it, so I'm going to brush over it, and that will help soften that line. Now those are going to be roughly the same, so I'm going to get more color and not get more water. Add more color to that box. If I let those 2 touch, and the lighter value or the darker value would run into the lighter value and make it kind of all the same, or almost all the same. Next one, I'm gonna dip my brush, wipe it off once, get more color. I'm gonna leave a space. If it helps you to draw separate boxes, that is fine. Just make sure you leave a space in between so they don't run together. So that's pretty much 1 layer, 2 layers, so this one will be 3 layers. And it may not be the 4th layer may not be as dark as you can get. Now those are going to be about even because there's essentially 2 layers. There are, and I need more color. Always put your cap back on. Dip, wipe off once. Remember where that stripe is. I'm gonna brush over it a little bit so that softens. Get more color. Okay. Now, as these are drying, this one looks darker than that one, which is sort of strange. I'm gonna get a little bit more marker. Dip once, wipe off once, and I'm gonna add more marker all over the whole thing. Since I made that one darker, like we learned with one of my tricks with the colored or with the graphite, if I make one darker, I want to make the next one darker too, to help fix transitions, the different values. Okay, we'll let those dry some and see how that works. In the meantime, I'm going to rinse my brush very well to make sure all the previous color is out of my marker. If you wipe it off, and like right here, you see that? Let's put it. I don't like to put the water dish on top of my watercolor paper very often, but I want you to see there where the water on the edge of the dish is kind of pink, right there. If you rinse or if you dip and you wipe off your brush and there's any color in the drop that comes off, your brush is not clean, so you need to think about doing that again. And it's looking like this one's definitely darker than that one, and that one's darker than that one, and that one is darker than that one. That's what we want. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to another color, do 4 more. Water, wipe off once. I'm gonna get a little color. I'm gonna leave more space between. I'm gonna paint in that shape and make sure I kind of even out my color. And then I'm gonna get more color. I'm going to leave a space in between the 2 values so they don't run together. And I'm gonna brush over that line that I drew to make my values my values separate. I just dipped a tiny bit and I wiped off the excess. That's gonna be darker, so I'm gonna go ahead and make my 3rd value. Scrub along that line a little bit, even it out. Just a tiny dip. I just let the very tips of the bristles get in the water. And my 4th value, see my brush wasn't clean, I've got a little dab of blue, but since I'm using the same color, I don't need to rinse it. Okay, we'll let those dry a little bit and we'll see. It's looking pretty good that I've got 4 distinct values. So that is exercise number 1, or practice number 1 that I want you to do. You can pick whatever colors you want. It is completely up to you as far as that part is concerned. Have fun.